Hi there, Scott, ROCKFILE, back with another podcast for your ears. Going to be talking about gratitude. This is a month we talk a lot about being thankful. Thanksgiving's coming up, obviously, and all that. But I was watching a YouTube video from Adam Savage, who used to be on Mythbusters. He's got his own maker channel on YouTube where he makes things, shows you how to make things, does builds, and gets to get a little philosophical in front of the camera. And he mentioned being grateful about what he gets to do, that it's a fantasy of his to be able to do what he loves for a living. That was my inspiration for this podcast. I've said before many times in these podcasts, which are approaching 500, wow, I'm thankful for what I've gotten to do my entire life. If I won the lottery tomorrow, I would still do what I'm doing. Does that make any sense to anyone? There was a meme that went around this week, or last week, said, I want a life that I don't want a vacation from. I've had that. I've had companies force me to take vacations because I just never took them. I like what I do so much. It was like a vacation every day. That sounds silly, I know. I stay very busy. At my level in the radio industry, in a day, I do all the jobs that pretty much anybody in radio will do, from adjusting copy to cutting commercials to doing breaks to talking to clients to talking to reps to talking to record labels to talking to jocks to, dealing with all the ins and outs of things, scheduling blackouts for sporting events. I do 1,000 different things every day and it keeps me busy and I love that. I go home feeling like a job well done and my brain needs some rest and relaxation. And then what I do when I get home, I record podcasts and I tweak my audio setup and I basically do what I do at work all day. So yeah, I'm pretty thankful I get to do what I do, that you want to listen to what I do. That blows me away. I've told the story before about one of my first radio stations I was working at, and I was working an air shift and a woman called in and I played a Bob Seger song and it changed her day. Changed her husband's day just because I played this one song. That was all I needed to continue doing this in my career. When Adam was talking about in this video about gratitude and getting to do what he loves and then finding time in his day to do for him. He has certain needs, as a guy who makes things. He makes things for a living. That's what he spends most of his time doing, but he also makes things for himself. That's part of what makes him happy. And I've talked before, especially in my music reviews, that I think artists need to make themselves happy. They need to stop worrying about the public and satisfy what's inside, because that's when you get the best art. It's when bands and artists start second-guess themselves. They paint what they think you want to see. They record what they think you want to hear. And that second guessing of themselves and you just, that usually taints the art. It's those bands. Why young bands are better? Because they have all that attitude and they don't care and they just want to do what they do and they want to make their music. Or those crazy painters or sculptors or writers who buck the system because, they just want to do what they want to do. And they don't want people telling them how to do it. Look, there's something to be said to be seasoned and knowledgeable and have a wealth of wisdom that you've gained over the years from learning and trying and experimenting and all that in any field, in any hobby, in any profession. That is a wonderful thing. But it's hard not to lose that edge that we all had in the beginning. I told my boss, I don't really do this for the paycheck. The bigger the paycheck, the nicer it would be, but that's really not why I come in every day. I'm not punching a clock. I don't ever look at the time. I leave when I'm done for the day. Some days it's earlier than others. Some days I stay later than others. My boss knows I'll never say no. I'll stay till the job is done. And if that makes it a 12-hour day, it's a 12-hour day. I don't complain. That's how I've always been, because this is what I want to do. I want to do the best at what I can do. And when I go home, I spend several hours working on this craft, this, I don't know, telling stories, entertaining with words. I don't know what you want to call it. I have to be inspired to do the podcast, but I'm inspired to do radio, to tweak my stations, to make them sound better, to spend an extra half hour in the studio today cutting a promo. I could have asked one of my other guys to finish it for me, but I wanted it to sound in a certain way. So I worked on it, and I didn't like it, and I threw it away and started over, and finally got a 22-second promo for my afternoon show that I like. And it'll run for 6 months, then I'll get rid of it, But I'm very fortunate. You have no idea how thankful I am. People think it's a joke. People think that my positive demeanor is some kind of act, that I can't be this happy all the time. Look, I have bad days too. I have days, everybody has bad days, but I wake up in the morning knowing that I'm going to go do something that I want to do all day, and that it's respected and loved, and people, want it, need it, love it, enjoy it. I don't know what else, a higher calling, saving lives. I've just never been one to want to stick my hand in people's guts and do that. So I'll stick my fingers into your brain with music and entertain you throughout the day. I do have a couple non-music stations. I hope those are entertaining as well. But I'm very thankful here in November, here in 2022, after a long pandemic and things are starting to get back to normal, here on an election day where things are a bit crazy. I'm thankful. I'm thankful I get to do what I do. I'm thankful you're listening to this right now. That's just amazing. Thank you. One person listening, a request making someone's day. That's all really it takes. Because extrapolate from that there may be tens or hundreds or thousands or whatever. One. If you affect one person in a positive manner, I think we need more of that in the world. So I'm very thankful. I totally get that I'm a very lucky human being to have found early in my life something I enjoy so much, and fortunate enough to be good at it enough that people will pay me to continue doing it. I don't even know what else to say about that. I look back on life and go, wow. Sure, when I was a teenager and a few other times in life, I held a few jobs that weren't, the cat's meow, the thing that made my heart sing. But we do what we have to do. But once I got locked into a career, even when I was working on my own time, I still did this. Craziness, right? So I hope I get to do this till the day I die. With your help, maybe. Anyway, I'm thankful. What are you thankful for? Let me know. I'm thankful to have a job, a life, a career, and a hobby that all works together in unison, and it makes me incredibly happy. I do other things. I enjoy other things, but the main thrust of my day is spent on something I love greatly. And I understand how lucky I am. So I'm taking this moment and the past 9 minutes of podcast to say, I appreciate where I am. I hope it continues to be this wonderful. Life is great. Thank you for listening. I hope you have a spectacular day. Look, I firmly believe that there is no better chance than now to change your situation. You're not happy at home. You're not happy in your job. You're not happy with something. See what you can do to change it. I'm not talking radical life changes if that's not what you need, but, I moved 5,000 miles from where I was and found wonderment, found a perfect place to do what I really want to do. Who would have thought? I certainly didn't, but here I am. So take chances, try some things. And before you get too old, get out there and look around. It's a wonderful world we live in. Get off the internet and get out there and see some of it. Scott Hamilton, I'm ROCKFILE. My links are below. Have a spectacular day, and thank you, honestly, thank you for listening.